Welcome to the daily grind right here at Bluff City Media every day at 1 o'clock. I'm one half of the team. I'm Mark. I got Luke alongside me. What's going on, man?
Not much, brother. I'm enjoying this beautiful weather. How are you? You're safe. I can see you're safe. You were traveling from
Yeah,
the LA Maelstrom. That's what I'm calling
yeah,
it. I don't know what else.
yeah. We got home yesterday afternoon, so good weekend in LA. It's fun. Just skirted out there as the rain was coming in, so but it was fun. It was a good time. We didn't have any children with us, so not that I don't love my children, but they were not with us, so it was
I
fun.
do. I don't understand.
It was a great time. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you guys had a great show yesterday. I did catch it while I was at the airport waiting on my flight. So it was a great show yesterday. You and Sean killed it. So another good show for you guys today. We're talking about the Grizzlies Knicks coming up tonight in this horror show of an injury report that we've had lately. That is
Gosh.
the only way to describe it, I feel like. I
Yeah.
do want to talk about it. I do want to talk about that just a little bit. Not that it deserves a conversation, but I do want to talk about it a little bit. And then we'll talk about our most valuable asset coming up in the second segment. What we think the Grizzlies' most valuable assets going into the trade deadline is. We got the dogs back with me today. As you can see them roaming around the office. And
Yeah.
last segment, trade partner Orlando Magic, as we continue our trade segment series, holding up to the trade deadline. And don't forget, on trade deadline day, we have the NBA trade deadline
Ooh.
special right here on Bluff City Media YouTube page all day long. Myself, Luke, Daniel will be the main contributors that day. We'll have lots of guests throughout the whole day. Some big ones too. So stay tuned for that. Don't miss it. It'll be 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. all day long. We'll be doing it live right here on the show. So let's start off with the Grizzlies injury list, novella. I don't know what to call it
Novella's
anymore.
good. Novella's good. I like novella.
Look, I hope this is just a thing where at this point in the season, with this particular season happening, this has to be just like, I'm a little bit hurt. We're going to just make sure we're not going to like take any chances kind of thing. It has to be, right?
Either that or it's the movie the movie Invincible, Mark Wahlberg, where he is the
Yes.
dude. It's similar to that, where I joined the Grizzlies as a backup two guard. It's either what you suggested or it's a movie that I've created in my head about what will happen in my future. And I think it's the former, personally.
Yeah. Look, I'm convincing myself that it has to be like that. It has to be the situation where, okay, we get a little bump and bruise and we're going to just sit down for a little bit, because this is like going out and playing one game and then be like, oh, my wrist is sore. I don't know. It feels like if it were a season where Ja was here and obviously Steven Adams is long gone, but if it were a season that were different, right? If a Ja were here and
Yeah.
Dez were here and Jaren were here, the whole cast of characters and Marcus Smart never got hurt and they were, third or fourth of the West. This feels like a situation where there wouldn't be so many guys hurt. It would be, I'm hurt, but I'm going to play through a situation much like Dez's toe last year, where he was pretty much hurt all year, but he played the entire year. I have to believe that, because any other way, I just think that it's a massive failure on whatever physical therapy department we got going on over there. I just think if it's not that, then it is a massive failure on this season of whatever they're doing in terms of keeping these guys healthy.
Yeah, they should go in and fire every single member of that staff if that's the case. They should do it, because it's negligence if that's what's happening. Because good God, there's 13 people on it, 14 people on it,
off a 15-man roster, Luke. Off a 15-man roster, there are 13 guys hurt. In no world should that, like, the only world that happens is where people like someone comes in and beats everybody up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, that's not, I just don't understand. I have to believe it is the fact that they're just, if it's a little bump, if you just feel a little bit off, right? If you just like, you know what, it doesn't matter anyway. If you feel a little bit off, take the day off, enjoy it, take the rest day, and we'll see you again on Tuesday, whatever it is. That's all I thought about all weekend. I was like, I can't, I have to believe it's like that, because if it isn't, I feel like it, like you said, it is negligence at this point. Like I do have a good feeling that it is like that. I think.
Yeah, I mean, God, I hate calling the season a lost season because even in a lost season, guys are developed. I mean, it's not a lost season because look, we signed Vince Williams, GG's getting these reps, but like in a quote unquote lost season, why not play it safe with these guys? And when your team notoriously plays it safe with injuries, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to get that out of the way before we started this preview with the Knicks. I've been thinking about it all season with the injury report the way it is. I have not seen it for today. Actually, I think they've got it out.
They updated it. Yeah,
Yeah. So tonight, February 6th, let's see. Questionable is Santi, John Conchar, Derek Rose, and Vince Williams. Questionable is usually a playing for the Grizzlies tonight. It just means like we're going to walk around and just double check. Doubtful, which is not playing, is Jaren, Xavier Tillman, and then out, Bane, Clark, Laravia, Morant, Oladipo, Smart, and Williams. So the out is the people we have been out for a while. What would you expect to be out? Kind of thought Jaren Jackson would play, but seems like he'll play on the next game against the Bulls on Thursday. Those doubtful guys will likely come back the next game. That's typically how they do it. So the Grizzlies take on the Knicks tonight. They just played the Knicks not that long ago, middle of January at home. Took an L there for their troubles. The Grizzlies have lost 3 in a row. They won 3 in a row before that, looking to get on the right side of things against sorry. They've lost more than 3 in a row, haven't they? They've lost 1, 2, 3. Why am I not
5?
5 in a row. Yep. 5 in a row. I was giving them good marks. I just can't count. That's the problem. 5 in a row for the Grizzlies. They need a win. They need to win badly. It's against the Knicks, who are a pretty good NBA team this year, 32-18. That's good for 4th in the West or Eastern Conference. The Knicks have a lot of good players. Jalen Brunson has come out of his shell this year and turned into an all-star. I will say this for their injury report, they will be missing OG Anunoby's already been ruled out. Quentin Grimes has already been ruled out as well. Julius Randle has been out for a few weeks. And then Mitchell Robinson is day to day. And so, no, excuse me, Robinson is out for the season. Sorry. So they do have, OG Anunoby and Quentin Grimes, do have guys that play for them. OG Anunoby being one of the biggest that contribute them for significantly not playing tonight. Do you think that matters at all?
No. They've only gotten better since we last played them, and we've only gotten worse. Not by much. The only guys that aren't playing that played in that last game are X and Jake and Z, I guess. So those are, I just looked, it's like it was the same dudes that we're playing. Like we're replacing those guys with 10-day dudes that might play better, they might play worse. Who knows? That's the fun. I don't think it matters. Does it say why Quentin Grimes is hurt? I'm curious because I'm also curious how many of these guys are listed for trade reasons.
His injury is just says knee. It doesn't say, but these already been rolled out against today's game. Him and OG Anunoby both.
Like I'm curious because I've heard a lot of rumors that X continually showing up on the injury report has been because of political trade reasons and not because he's actually hurt. I'm curious if that's the case with the Knicks, maybe with Grimes. I don't know.
I mean, it's possible. That does happen around the trade deadline. Guys not showing up on the, guys kind of being moved to the injury report, but just because of trades and such.
Yeah.
I would, in this case, I would probably lean towards no, because he's been on it for so long. Typically you only see that on a game like today or tomorrow, game, a couple days before or the day before the trade deadline is when you might see that type of thing show up. It doesn't feel good. I mean, it doesn't feel like that's what that is since he's been on it for so long. You don't really hold guys out for a week before that. It just doesn't happen. We've seen guys getting traded in the middle of games before, it's holding guys out to be traded is just, it happens. It does happen, but it doesn't happen often. It only happens if the trade's pretty much imminent. Like we're getting this deal done tonight. Yeah, it's happening right now. This goes in tonight. Then you might see him scratch. That's why I think we all raised our eyebrows and X got scratched right, but in the middle of the first quarter in that game, last week. That was when the next day of that trade, Steven Adams trade. Well, it was you had a trade before, and that kind of felt like it might have been, but I think he was literally. I think he is just hurt, or he is just getting rest. Again, the other thing you do see with the guys holding outside, you hold them out just because you don't want them to get hurt, right? he tears an ACL or does something to an ankle, and that takes his trade value altogether. Then it blows every trade you have. So
Torpedoes.
I mean, it's very possible that just like he's in a lot of trade talks, and they don't want him to get hurt, and they've been holding out for a week. And with the injury report this long, it wouldn't seem out of the norm, like for someone to be hurt. So
exactly.
Back to this Grizzlies game tonight for the New York. They're in New York. Is there any way they win this game? Do you see there's any way they win this game with the roster they have? I mean, again, they do have some guys coming back. They all have Adama, Conchar, Derek, and Vince Williams back. Again, couple that with 10 days and 2 ways. It's not great. It's not Jaren and the hustle great. Any way they win this game?
Man, I think it's going to be hard just because, I mean, the Knicks are what are they? They're tied for the 3rd team in the league in terms of rebounds. We can't catch a break in these games against these teams that just rebound the shit out of the ball. I just think we're gonna, if we can win that matchup, like if we can out rebound them, that's how I think we win. I think we win by out rebounding them.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to come down to because they're really good at it. And I think it might come down to a lot of second chance points on this one.
Going to see a lot of Isaiah Hartenstein tonight. I mean, obviously their best rebounders are Julius Randle or Mitchell Robinson before those guys got hurt. And so if you look at anything, I guess that's, I don't want them to be hurt, but they're not playing. I'll take it. Right.
They're going to miss Julius Randle.
Julius Randle's only been out for a week. Mitchell Robinson's only been out for like a month. So those numbers in terms of like the 3rd best rebounding, they are a little skewed because those guys that were providing so much of that are gone, are not there now because Mitchell Robinson was averaging a double-digit rebounds. Julius Randle was averaging 9.2 rebounds. So you're going to see a lot of Isaiah Hartenstein. So maybe you get some breaks there. Isaiah Hartenstein at 8.8 rebounds per game. But Josh Hart playing a lot of minutes as well in that kind of power forward-ish position for them because they're kind of, they're not out of bigs, but they are in a worse spot. They're not as worse spot as we are, but they're not out of bigs. Now, if Jaren was playing in this game, I would give him a little bit of I think I would give him a little bit of maybiness, right? I think I could see that path forward of Jaren being really dominant if they really didn't have a lot of big guys to really compete with that. I mean, to be clear, they didn't have a lot of big guys to compete with Jaren before Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle went down anyway. And so, but he's not playing, so you don't really have that. You don't have that luxury. I will ask you this: does it matter if they win? That's the real question. Do we care?
My pride says yes. I want them to win. Because you don't want. It's not good for development for guys to lose. You don't want dudes when they're developing to get used to losing. That's not a good mindset to, I want them to. I like winning.
See the Pistons. If you're looking for an example, see Detroit Pistons.
Ding,
Everybody
ding, ding.
wants off that team now.
Yes, I don't want to become them. I want what would be really fun to beat the surging Knicks. It would do a lot for these guys' confidence.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, again, we don't. The wins are always fun for sure.
Yeah.
Do I care? Not that much. I don't really care. Like we talked about before, the really thing that matters to me in these games is it was a fun game. Did we get to watch it? Do we see some guys develop? That's really what we care about at this moment. I think pretty much everybody cares about. That's what you should care about. But wins are always great. Wins are always fun to have. So hopefully they can get that tonight. Just beat a scrappy Knicks team. The 10 days and 2 ways. That's the new team name for the Grizzlies.
Sounds like a hip hop band. Like an
10 days and 2 ways.
We're the 10 days and the 2 ways.
Who knows? We got a chance at it tonight. The Grizzlies take on the Knicks. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. We'll talk about what the Grizzlies have as the most tradable asset coming into the trade deadline.
Not just the level of individual talent that he plays with, but it's also the level of his mind. We haven't gotten cross-court open shot this year. Right. We haven't seen that pass a lot. Number one, you got to respect him going to the basket. There's a roller. I got to watch the roller. He has the mind to be able to say, I see all of that, but now I see this guy over here. I'm going to get him this open shot. How shifty he is to always be going forward. It's usually side to side. Yeah. His dribble moves are side to side, but going forward. Right. Which is very hard to defend. I just want to get you, as many times can I get you to do this? But for him, it's not here. It is here. which is are his moves to get down the floor. It's awkward for a defender to try to catch a cadence. You dribble. So now what I do is now when you go put that ball down, I'm going for it. But with him, it's hard for my cadence. But what's my cadence for you? I don't know what it is.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Who do you need to step it up? Outside of David Jones, I think David Jones is David Jones.
I don't think you need him to step it up because he's been performing.
Yeah, like he's David Jones. Like outside of him, he's fine.
I think Quinterly needs to play better.
In what way? Like, I mean, he's facilitating the ball well. I mean, what do you like? I don't.
2 at 12 from the field's not cutting it.
It's not great. It's not great.
And I don't need a runner 3 from the top of the key with 3.5 seconds left.
Is Virginia the game where Jordan Brown is going to cook? Those dudes aren't looking to run the ball.
Cook what? Dude, I thought he was going to have a freaking night. He came out with that fresh cut, lined up, and then literally within the first 15 seconds missed a wide open layup, and then picked up 2 fouls right away.
I feel real lied to because I thought we were getting a 20 and 10 guy.
Didn't think it did anything for you.
Well,
I think we all thought we were getting a 20 and 10 guy. And we are getting that in David Jones.
I'm not even getting 20 or 10 minutes out of the guy.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind. We talk the Grizzlies right here every single day on Bluff City Media. If you haven't already done so, go subscribe to the Bluff City Media YouTube page. I promise you it will be worth it, and it is free. It costs you no dollars, and it really helps us out as a company. So go check that out. I promise you there's a show for you, everybody. We have shows of all, nature, sports, different Tiger stuff, just general sports stuff, soccer stuff. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. So go check it out. I promise you won't be disappointed. Grizzlies, their most valuable asset going into the trade deadline, which is just a few days away. I want to go probably out on a limb and say it's not out of the limb. This is probably it's probably Luke, I guess. I mean, if I'm making like assumptions on what they would provide value, not that I think they're going to trade Luke, right? But if they say, okay, this is the guy that we want to dangle out there and see what we can get for it, I think it's probably Luke. And then it might even be 1A, 1B for me and Luke and Xavier. Because Xavier is good. Like, I think that people don't see him play enough and they forget. I mean, he's a very serviceable, third or fourth big on your roster.
Especially on defense.
And I think there are a lot of teams in the NBA that are contending that would really look to shore their bench bigs.
Yeah. It's funny. We didn't compare notes, but Luke's my answer too. Like, I think Luke, his contract too, it's just, he's making just the juiciest amount of money, like the perfect amount of money to be like, somebody want this? And he provides an elite skill set that when utilized properly, when optimized properly, it's the optimal version of Luke. Every championship team needs, every team needs that on their roster if they want to I bet we could pull every NBA executive and we'd be like, would you want like every team competing, like let's say the Celtics, the Bucks, the Nuggets, the Sixers, the Lakers. I mean, like, ask any of them, would you want this guy on your team? I guarantee you they would all say yes. I think that what he brings to the table and for what he's making, it's just worth it.
Well, I think that's the key right there is what you just mentioned is his contract, right? And it's almost $15 million, and it is a big enough number where you can get some value in return for sure. But the other thing about that you did mention, which I know you know this, you just didn't happen to mention, is that it's a team option next year.
Yes.
So like,
exactly.
That's the biggest thing is that you can treat it as an expiring contract if you want to. If you want to trade Luke Kennard or trade for Luke Kennard and you want to see how it fits, right? that's like the hesitancy and a lot of people's trade value of contracts, especially expirings, is what if we lose him for nothing? What if we give up 2 second round picks and he walks away, right? Unless you're in a situation like the Grizzlies where you need money to come off the books, which there are some teams like that. Luke Kennard is making enough money and it provides that insurance for you as a team. And I think that's the most important thing, is that he can go in there, see what happens, just like the Grizzlies did when they traded for him. They saw what happened, because they didn't re-sign him, but that's different. But you can go in there and see what happens with Luke Kennard. If you love him, you opt him into his contract. If you don't, and it didn't work out, and you want to get off the $15 million, you just move on. And I think that's the most important part about that.
Yes. That the option in that contract is so important, because it just gives the Grizzlies the flexibility that makes him more, like, just a more valuable asset. Gives it's like you said, he's the definition of a player that you take a flyer on.
Yeah.
You take you flyer on him. If it works out, you look like a genius. If it doesn't work out, sorry, hombre, pack your bags, you're gone.
You're not stuck with anything. And I think that's all makes Xavier Tillman's a little harder to trade is because he's only making $2 million this year. Like, that's the other thing. It's like, yes, it's an expiring contract for you if you want to, but it's not a big expiring. So it's not even enough money to worry about. And so it's not like, Oladipo is almost 10 million where, you're going to take him in and you're going to get that money off the books. And it's a little, it's not enough money to worry about in terms of to take it in as an expiring contract. So it really limits your suitors to really contending teams. And the good thing is, I think you can, it is also so little is that you have a lot of teams that can take that contract on and just give up picks if you don't have to really send out any assets if you don't need to. They don't have to. They're going to send out draft assets, and that's all you can take for Santi. That's all you can take for Xavier if that's what you want to take for him. So, in the sense that Luke's contract is big enough to fit into spaces and provide value coming off the books if that's what you want to, and his 3-point shooting. The opposite of this true with Xavier, that his contract's so small that you can fit it into a lot of different teams, and it's really flexible.
Do you think? Because I honestly want to put Oladipo above X. Do you think Oladipo's on this team Thursday, after the end of Thursday?
No.
Okay.
I say if he's on this team after Thursday, it will only to be buying him out after Thursday. Yes, he will be. He is on this team until Thursday because his contract is tradable, right? And that's just an asset thing. And so you don't want to just waive him or buy him out 2 days before the deadline when you could throw that $10 million into a trade and make it work if you wanted to, bring a player back. And so, he will be on this team until Thursday. But after that, I think it will be just a buyout situation, just in case they want to have more roster spots for their phone flexibility. I think also just determines what happens. Like, if they try to take back 2 players and they only send 1 player and they know they can, buy out, they know that they can buy that spot out, right? They know that that's basically an empty roster spot, essentially. And so
Oladipo and Kennard get you to $25 million. Exactly.
It gets you a lot of money. If you want to bring back a player, and to be clear, that's $25 million that you could take into next year too. Right now, it's sorry, take that back. You can't take that $25 million because you're gonna have to. Oladipo's contract coming off the books in the summer is what gave you flexibility to get under the apron. So that wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
You're right. You're right.
I mean, and they're not interested in getting anybody any kind of rental, for the 3 months that's left in the season or 2 months left in the season. They're not interested in that. So
no.
So that probably wouldn't work, but Luke's $15 million would get you a lot of players, though. A lot of players make less than $15 million that are good.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
You would be surprised how many players would fit that bill. And they also have, they have a trade exception too. They could use that as well. Just they got lots of tools in their tool chest, if you will, to take people back if they need to.
Yeah.
So, let's go to another break. We'll talk about our trade partner, Orlando Magic, coming up in the next segment.
I'm just big on being able to vocalize what someone's role is. I always thought my best coaches were the people that let me know exactly what you expect from me. Now, I might not like it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if you come to me man to man to say, this is how we think we're gonna play you, bang, 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 and hopefully everybody understand. I'm not saying that this has not been done with this team. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying from my experience, we all have egos when we get to this game.
Right.
All of us. To the last person on the bench, you got an ego. But all of us can't be the man.
Yeah.
And now you got to be able to say, okay, he's the man, but what do I do and what can I do to help us be good? And if it's vocalized to you, then you know exactly what. And if I'm out there doing it and now I'm not getting the result from you, now we got to sit down and have another conversation. But as long as it is told to you, this is what we expect from you, this is how we want you to play, then I feel like, again, keeping his logo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show, Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. All right, Christian.
Yes,
You are Penny Hardaway.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Today, you're going to play act. Okay? Gabe, because you're a Jordan Brown apologist, you're going to be Jordan Brown.
I'm a Jordan Brown apologist. Okay.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Y'all are sitting across the room from each other.
I said, don't tweet him hate. And he's like, you're an apologist. Like, good God. But either way, continue. We're in a room together.
Why did things break down?
Jordan, we brought you in this year to be the centerpiece of our offense. You came in out of shape. Let's call it what it is. Call a spade a spade. We play fast. Told you this when we were recruiting you. We play fast. One of the fastest paces in the country. You have to be able to get up and down the floor. You have failed at that.
Oh, well, I'm leaving. So it's fine. Cool.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the daily grind on the Grizzlies every single day right here on Bluff City Media at 1 o'clock. The Grizzlies, I just was on Twitter and I saw the Grizzlies just released this court for the new park series, the Cities Park, they're calling it. Have you seen this?
I saw it on my stream. I didn't watch it.
Commercial break. I did this. Well, they put a photo up. That's what I saw a couple hours ago. And it's a court that looks like a concrete court. And it's really, really fucking cool.
Let me see. The
Looks
team
like they're
tweeted?
doing it. This is for 2024. This is the 2024 City Edition court.
Whoa.
So it's Bulls, Clippers. So the debut is Thursday. Bulls, Clippers, Hawks, Thunder, Lakers, and Nuggets. So that'd be cool.
That's sick.
Not to get distracted on our segment, but like that was really cool. I saw that just as we were waiting for the show to come back on. All right, let's go to the Grizzlies possible trade partner, Orlando Magic. They are exactly average right now in the NBA, 27 and 23, almost average, slightly above. One of the worst positions you can be in the NBA. You don't want to be average. You want to be either really good or really bad.
Ask the
you're
Bulls.
average. You could be average for a long time. And so, which is Orlando Magic has been bad for a while, and now they're average. They might be looking to get above average. Well above average, and might add some pieces to this team. I guess my question to you, what do you think they need? I mean, what would they want off our team? I think that's the better question for this is what do they want from the Grizzlies?
I know I'm going to confirm really fast. I know if I'm them, I want shooting. And so I want Luke Kennard. I'm going to double check. I think they're like really, I don't want to speak out of turn. I'm going to find it real fast. I don't
want their 3-point percentage.
Yeah. You got it in front of you.
Yeah. So
I know they're near the bottom of the league.
They're 27th in 3-point attempts, 30th in 3-point makes.
Boom. Like give them a 3-point shooter. Like that's who I would want.
They got Joe Ingles.
Yeah, but Joe Ingles is older, and I mean, I don't not good anymore. I don't think I'm trying to be nice because I like Joe Ingles, but he's washed, man. Like I don't think
he's shooting 2.6 attempts per game, making less than one, averaging 5 points a game. And they're playing and rolling him out there at 17 minutes a game.
Washed. God love him. That's washed.
I think what they thought Joe Ingles could be is more like what they want Luke Kennard could be for them.
Exactly.
So, all right. So if you're asking, do you think they're going to ask for Luke Kennard, which I agree with you. I think that would be my ask as well. Their contract, what are you looking for in return? I think I know the one guy I would ask for in return. I think it's probably the same guy, but you say it first.
Wendell Carter.
Well, yes, that's actually not who I was going to say.
Who are you going to say?
Jonathan Isaac.
Oh, I like
I don't
him
think they'll
too.
give up Jonathan. I don't think they give up Jonathan. He's making
I don't
17.4
either.
million. He's making 17.4 million. Like you could fit that into coming back good, like because within that variance of like 20%, whatever it is that you don't have to take him back. But I think I would ask for Jonathan Isaac. That's who
He's
I
good,
would ask
man.
for. I think he's good, but also he's not playing that much. I think they have kind of moved off and with, like, he's very similar styles to a lot of the other players on their team. I think that's kind of like their problem right now is they got a lot of redundancy in positions. They got a lot of guys that are pretty good, but all play the same position. So it's hard to get them on the court together. And I think kind of that's where he's at now. I mean, he's only averaging 14 minutes a game right now. And so it's not a whole lot. I think that's a guy. Yeah, I think he's really fallen out of favor with this Orlando Magic ball club. I know he's making more money. I just don't know if, like, for me, would they be more willing to give up Jonathan Isaac or Wendell Carter Jr.? Now, I would prefer, I think, if I'm just apples to apples, I would prefer Wendell Carter Jr. because he fits in this team better, right? I think he fits what you want. I mean, he's got a good contract. He's $13 million descending over the next 2 years after this, which is great for the Grizzlies, a descending contract. Yes. I just don't know if they're willing to give him up.
Yeah. It depends. I mean, it depends on, again, it depends on how they decide to filter out their dudes. They've got so many dudes that do so many things that it's been hard for them to figure out, honestly, what all works together. Like, they know Cole Anthony's a great sixth man, but like, do you roll Banchero and Franz? I mean, you got other bigs down there on the bench like that you can play. It's tough. I like in a 9-game series, are you going to play, or a 7-game series, you're going to play all these dudes? Like, if they're thinking about the postseason, like, they got to start thinking like that.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think obviously rolling out Paul and Banchero and Franz Wagner is ideal. But like he's mentioned, you gotta roll a bench line out there too. And again, I am very curious to see I would be curious to know how they view Wendell Carter Jr., right? Like you mentioned, he's a guy that is very redundant to Paul Banchero and Franz Wagner, and he's very redundant to even Jonathan Isaac. And I think that's probably why Jonathan Isaac hasn't played is because of Wendell Carter, right? I think that's ultimately the issue here for them is they have a plethora of bigs and power forwards. Some can shoot, some cannot, and so I think that's, ultimately, like, Wendell Carter Jr. is a better rebounder. I mean, I think he's just a better player than Jonathan Isaac. I think they think that too. Obviously, he's getting more minutes and more playing time. I just don't know if you can get him. And what do you think it would take to get Wendell Carter Jr.? What do you think you got to give up? Obviously, Luke Kennard, you start there.
Yeah, I mean, that gets the money. That gets you the money. I just don't think it gets you the value. No, I think you got to throw in maybe one first.
At least,
maybe a first and a second. I mean, I don't know if you throw in multiple first. Would you do two first?
No, but what I would do, and that's the thing is, I don't know. I mean, if you think Wendell Carter Jr. is going to push you over into a different category, right? Then you think, okay, well, this first is pretty good this year. If it's a 2024 first, like unprotected, that's like a slam dunk. Like, if the Magic doesn't do that, that's just kind of dumb. Stupid. But I would throw in that, Luke Kennard, Wendell Carter Jr., or Luke Kennard in a first, plus any of those couple seconds you just picked up in the Steven Adams deal. That's what I would do.
Give them both. Give them both of them.
And I would still try to protect that first rounder, like top 5, top 5 protection or top 4 protections on that this year's 2024 pick. I think you could get by with that. I think the Magic should take that. Now, they might think really highly of Wendell Carter Jr. and that just might not get it done. I think it should get it done. And I'd be willing to pay that too. Honestly, I'm willing to pay any for pretty much any player this year that is a value, right? The players that we talked about, that is a value. That first this year, I'm willing to give it to you, even unprotected. If it gets me, if it nets me a player that fits our system, either that smaller power forward or bigger wing that can shoot and or rebound, right? That's kind of what you're looking for, and has a good multi-year contract going forward. I'm willing to give up the first round pick for anybody that matches that criteria. I don't care, even if it's unprotected, because, to quite frankly, like, you can't keep picking guys development runs out. Now you're in the stage of like, we're ready to win. We're ready to be contenders. You can't be contenders and develop guys at the same time. It doesn't work like that.
Nope.
You can be contenders and have a couple in the bench guys that are getting minutes that get some real slow development, like a David Roddy should be this year.
Yeah.
Well, you can't do what you're doing right now and find the Vince Williams and get him minutes and find the Gigi Jackson and get him minutes and compete and contend. Because let's be honest, like Vince Williams wouldn't even be in this position if they were contenders and everybody was healthy this year. He might have gotten fringe minutes, but he would not have.
Like an 8 or 9. Yeah. Like an 8 or 9 man.
Exactly. Maybe lower. Would never have gotten that contract he got. And you have never ever seen Gigi Jackson this year.
Nope.
So I'm willing to give up the pick because I know that you can't keep picking. You can't keep taking guys like that.
And in a draft that we don't expect to be very good to, like, give it up. Give that pick up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would not. And it doesn't seem like, I'm not saying that it doesn't seem like from the outside looking in or just kind of reading the rumors, it doesn't seem like they are hesitant about giving those picks. It seems like they're very willing to give them up, as we've seen. That's been reported in several people, several teams, kind of a lot of different areas that the Grizzlies are,
taking phone calls. They're
taking phone calls on people and they're making phone calls on people.
Yeah.
I will say this: if the trade deadline ends up being moot for the Grizzlies, I won't think it will be because of lack of trying. I think we pass a lot of trade deadlines, and I've can name a few where I feel like you probably didn't try your hardest. You probably didn't offer enough.
Yeah.
And I think that's ultimately, I will think if the Grizzlies, if the deadline passes on Thursday and the Grizzlies don't do anything, I would think it would be because the price is either too high or people are just saying no. Again, I think that's what we always get mad about trade deadlines, because you don't get the move you wanted. But that's the other. We've said that on the show for a month and a half now.
Yeah.
That's the problem with trades, is that you always say there's always another side to it. And there's always a reason why Orlando's going to say no. They just like, you can, hey, I'm going to give you a 6th round. I guess they're at that point, they're going to say yes. And if you offer them 10 first round picks, but like a reasonable offer for like Mikal Bridges, if you're turning down 4 first round picks, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that's a good offer. That's the best offer you're ever going to get from Mikal Bridges. And if you're turning it down, then that means they're unwilling to do that trade at that point.
Yes. And like trades involve 2 people on that phone call. Like there's one person, you both got to say yes. It's people get so pissed. It's like
it will be the same. It will be the thing I preach about trades until the day I die.
Yeah,
as that people get so pissed about trades. Like I promise you, we don't know the details. I promise you, they could have made $1 million offers for Mikal Bridges last year, the same trade deadline, and reportedly they offered 4 first. If that was the offer, if that was the offer for Mikal Bridges, that means that Brooklyn just didn't want to make the deal. And they're like, he's available, but not really, right? Because Brooklyn just seems so unserious about this. Even this year with Mikal and everybody else they have, like Dorian Finney-Smith, they seem very unserious about making trades. They're available. Like, sure, everybody's available, but only for like 18 first. That's our line. But
shit or get off the pot. Like, trade those dudes. Come on.
Yeah, but either way, we'll be interested to see what the Grizzlies do coming up for our Thursday, just in a few days now. I would love Wendell Carter Jr.'s name showing up in rumors come tomorrow. I know you would too.
Yes.
I would take Jonathan Isaac if I had to.
I would
Wouldn't
too.
Be my first choice though. Would be my first choice though.
I think that's where I would stop. Those are the 2 guys that I don't really. I've got a lot of. I like a lot of their guards, but we won't need guard. Like, we don't need that. We don't need that. Like,
yeah.
I
totally agree. That's going to be it for our show today, guys. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow, hopefully talking about a Grizzlies W on the other side of today after this Knicks game tonight. Hey, you know what? If it's not a W, we'll still come and talk about it either way. It just makes the show a little bit funner, a little bit more easy, a little bit easier to talk about, but we'll talk about something tomorrow. Will definitely be the Knicks recap, as well as a few other things. Again, don't forget Thursday, we will not have a show. Just so you guys remember that we will not have a show. We'll be on the air all day talking NBA trades. If the Grizzlies do something, we'll obviously react and talk about that as well. But we will not be on like a daily grind episode at 1:00. We'll be on the air at 1:00. So we'll kind of have one, I guess. But just a reminder, we'll be here tomorrow and here Friday. Thursday will be an all-day NBA trade special. So make sure you check that out. Pop in at least some parts of the day. You're not going to watch it all, I promise you. But pop in some parts of the day and talk with us on that show. We will see you tomorrow.